house. His name is Ahmed. That's Ahmed, the son of Sheikh Saidi. This is Sheikh Saidi, the owner of the house. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Saidi. تشتي تقول شيء؟ عرفتي ميكروفون هنا. تمام. This is the water pipe you see here, and you see him smoking there. This is Mahsen Qaid. For reasons I don't know, they wanted me to take his pictures, so they wanted a close-up of his all by himself. So there we got him, nice and sharp there. They said he was 500 years old. Mahsen Qaid. Oh, they just started singing. This is the traditional singing where someone has prepared a song that fits the occasion. I can't be positive of that, but that seems to me to be what's happening right now. Or this has probably been a song prepared in advance for this occasion. Again, just a reminder, this is the wedding of our neighbor, Yahya, whose daughter is marrying his brother's son. The son's name is Naji Mohsen. Mohsen is the father's name. And this is the afternoon cot party. They actually become married tonight, and the bride and bridegroom will be spending the night together tonight. While the cot party is continuing, we're out here watching a man chop meat. They got those up behind there watching. They really wanted to get the picture in, so I'm getting their picture in, and at the same time getting this man here chopping up the meat. We'll get in a little closer here and see what he's doing. I expect this is also for the big supper that they're going to be having tonight, wedding supper. There he's chopping into the head. I noticed on the plate that we had lunch, they served the head. Apparently the brain seems to be a part of the animal they relish. This is the house of Sheikh Yahya Saidi, and today we're going to be seeing some of the festivities. You hear some firecrackers going off in the background. Today is the day of the wedding of Mujahid, the son of Sheikh Saidi. And this is Sheikh Saidi's house, and here's some of the people standing around. So here's the Jambia dance, starting the celebrations of the wedding of Mujahid, the son of Sheikh Yahya Saidi. Sheikh Yahya Saidi. هذا شيخ يحيى السعيدي. ياخذ الله حمزة. Yahya, our neighbor, dancing with Marcus. There's the drummers you see in the background there. Of Jambia dancing, just started up another one here. There's a fellow who kind of calls things in the middle. Seemed like when they started he could always hasn't said anything now. Get a shot of the drummers here. Obviously arrived. I don't know who it is. They just come in from Sanaa. See, I've just learned that that's the Minister of the Interior who's just arrived for the wedding festival. They're all coming in these government cars here. That's the women in the background with the sounds that you hear. Here we are now back closer to the Sheikh's house. Another Jambia dance going on. This is just after the Minister of Interior has arrived. gentleman who wanted his picture taken, so I'll honor him. Here comes the procession. There is the groom, Mujahid Saidi. Mujahid Yahya Saidi, the son of the Sheikh. They're now going into the entrance to the Sheikh's house. Ahlan wa sahlan. We're now in the room of Sheikh Saidi. We're now in the big mufraj room here of Sheikh Yahya Saidi. In the wedding a couple of months ago, I was mistaken. I thought the Sheikh was Ali Saidi, and that's the Sheikh's brother. The picture you see, who I showed was the brother of the Sheikh. We're now waiting. We just finished lunch, and the bridegroom, Mujahid Saidi, the son of the Sheikh, will be going to the mosque to pray. Yeah, we're just outside now, along the road, and caught all along the road. One thing that we said earlier, I was told that the guest that came from Sanaa was the Minister of Interior. It turned out that that was not the case. I don't know who the man was. The bridegroom is now coming to the mosque to pray. We're here just close to the mosque ahead of him, and you'll see him coming with the drummers and the singing. And here come the drummers just around the corner. See, I'm back a ways here from that, as you can see when I go like that. Bring in the zoom. Okay, here's the groom just coming out after praying. And they're just stopping now so we can take their picture. And they'll be... Okay, that was Yahya who just said that this was the groom, the son of the Sheikh of Hamdan, Yahya Saidi. I want you to get those two guys. This is a harvest that you can see they've laid out here in the stones. There's a lady shaking something out of the window. Yeah, that's something. This is an area along the wadi on the edge of the old city where they're selling wood. You can see the wood trucks here. Here's just a street scene in Sanaa. And there's Dick Miller and my wife, Marjorie Gilson, enjoying the old city of Sanaa. Here's a nice view of the old city of Sanaa, showing a garden here surrounded by some of the old houses. Gives you just an idea. Backing up in the other direction. Here's an old mosque. This is Wadi Dahar, a valley near Sanaa. This is the famous castle on the rock. This is one of the castles of a former imam that was built in this valley. It's built right on top of that solid rock there. This is early Friday morning, before 7 o'clock. In the background you may hear a pump pumping water. There's a little closer shot of the castle on the rock. There's some fellows early in the morning here. I don't know what they're doing. There's Dick Miller and the car we came down in. Get the picture too? Sitting down over there? I already did. There's an old tree. What you hear is some water running right over here. Okay, this is the house that was constructed is the director's house for Sanaa International School. This was designed by our Norwegian architect, and in charge of this was our Dutch plant manager. We also had another Dutch builder. We had an American builder on it as well. And the brickwork and most of the carpentry work and the tiles were done by Chinese from mainland China. And we had Egyptians doing the steel bending. And then the plaster, or what is called here, gos, which is an alabaster base kind of material, was done by a Yemeni Mugassas. And this house was just completed last summer. I'll bring up some closer views. It has, as you can see there, a nice upper porch that's very pleasant to overlook the valley. This is the valley that's overlooked from that porch. Off in the distance, I'm trying to bring up as close as I can there, is a caravanserai. This was built by former imams, that's the kings that used to rule the country, as places along the paths in the country for travelers to rest for the night. Up there on the side of the mountain is the water tank. That's filled from the well on the other side of the mountain and piped up over the top through the summit, as you can see where the electrical wiring is also coming over. The school is just on the other side. And now right on the roof is the solar panel. I'll bring it up close there. That collects sunlight during the day and heats our hot water. And this large window on the front side takes the sun in during the day, and during the winter months keeps the house quite warm. Right down here in front of the house, along with the cement mixer, Still some things to be finished on the house is my wife has started a garden, some plants and flowers along the front here. There's Mr. Wallen, our Director of Instruction, Dave Wallen, arriving at school at a little after 7 in the morning. And there is Sanaa International School. This is the school building that we're now in our 4th year in this building. It took about 3 years to get the land for this construction project. We have about 35 acres, 35 acres. About half of it's in the mountain and half of it on flat ground. The Yemen government gave this to us for 50 years on a free lease. Then the construction took place. We had a British architect who was with the United Nations who designed these hexagonal features of the building, and he did this free for the school. He was interested in Yemeni architectural styling, so as you can see there, in the windows are uniquely Yemeni, and then we hired a young man, Frank Jablonski, who was spent 2 years here with the Peace Corps and had worked with Derek Matthews, the British architect. And he was hired then by the school to do the drawings. And then we attempted to construct it on our own. Inflation shot prices up, and later we took on a Swedish consulting firm and a local contractor. We had great problems. We finally had to kick the contractor out because he wasn't doing the job, and we finished it up ourselves. The total cost of the project, including a well, which is right... let me see, I'm trying to find it in the camera here. There's the cover of the school well. Including that and what other costs we had, it was about $1.2 million to complete this. The classrooms are 93 square meters each shaped in a hexagonal form. There's a library learning center right in the middle of these, with the classrooms all around it. There's a separate building in the back that houses the administrative rooms, offices, and the 3 classrooms as well. We have a garden program, and looking from up here on the side of the hill, you get a view there of the garden. Mr. Henry Gamber takes charge of this garden program and does a tremendous job with the kids. Most of the students have an hour a week as part of their science program with Mr. Gamber in the garden area. Okay, we have here our workshop that our plant manager, Mr. Wout van Dijk, uses for maintaining automobiles and for whatever construction, carpentry work, and so forth. This shop is used. This is the beginning of a design of a building that will be 6 times this big, with 6 pieces like this, extending off to the right of the building you see there. And we hope eventually to have it covered with a red brick facade, and we expect to put Yemeni windows in so that in the end fits into the architectural, it fits in architecturally with the other buildings on the school compound. There's our school soccer field, and we've made a track out of it as well. It's one sport that we've tried to develop a bit here. We have some of our students that are particularly interested in running long distance, and we will take the students who can compete to a track meet in Cairo in April. Right out here we have a softball field. It isn't finished yet. We hope to plant grass in it and get a fence around it. But it has been laid out to the proper dimensions. And at some point in the future, we hope to have a real nice softball field there. Just behind the school, in the distance, you can see the village of Shemlan, which is right nearby us. And immediately behind the school, you can see a volleyball net there. That's our playground that is used for recess, mostly by the younger children. And off to the right from here is a mineral water bottling plant called the Shemlan water. It's named after the village. There's the courtyard between the two buildings, and one of our buses just arrived. We'll take a walk around here and see the student and watch some of the students coming in. Just leave it on like that. If you want to make any comments.
This is Mr. Gilson. He is the director of the entire school and was responsible for the development of the idea of the school here, and has been in charge for the last 4 years that it's been in operation. Plus, at one time the program was down in Sanaa itself. They rented facilities there in which to have the school. Now, as you see, the students are coming in. They are bussed in from Sanaa by a minibus and by a large diesel-powered bus also. The enrollment of the school is over 200 students, and they have students from almost every nation you can think of. A lot of Americans, a lot of British, Ethiopians, Yemenis, Japanese, from almost every nation in the area, Egypt, and so forth. The most international school that you could find.
There's David Wallen, some of the kids. Okay, this is the computer that the school has in the office with the disk drives and a printer there in the back. And this is our bookkeeper, Gail Carlson, who types in the report card comments into the computers. We have our student evaluations all computerized. Now here's a view from the other side. You can see we have the TV screen there. See, focus it, and I think you can probably read what she's typing there. Whoops, she just made a syntax error. How about that? That's the school's new copy machine, a Sharp. Gives excellent copies. Very useful now that we have it. This is the main office. Gail Carlson, the bookkeeper there. There's Teresa Fleming, our secretary, typing on the new IBM Selectric typewriter that we just recently acquired. This is a cultural studies class of some of the older students, 14 and 15-year-olds. This is Mr. Robin Warner, our cultural studies teacher, dealing with a student from Pakistan. And there's Mrs. Pearl Gamber, who's helping in this class. She's our special English teacher, one of our special English teachers, and we have a number of students in this class that come with a weakness in the English language, coming from different countries. This student here is from Lebanon. This is Mrs. Susan Giusti, who is a media specialist, and she has time every day with kids, teaching them library skills. She has a class now of students in the, I believe, 10, 11-year-old age groups. This class is taking place in our Library Learning Center. It's composed of 3 hexagons, each 93 square meters, and this area is surrounded by 8 classrooms that open directly into here. Over here we have some study carrels where some of the older students are studying their correspondence work. And there's 2 of the classroom doors that come in. These classrooms enter directly into this Library Learning Center, as well as they have outside entryways so that this is not used as a passageway for the kids. Only they come in when they have something to do. Notice around the walls we have some of the flags students have made, representing some of the countries that we have in the school. There are 24 different nationalities enrolled in school today. This is a view of the school's computer room. It's just off the Library Learning Center. It's also used to store other audio-visual equipment. The furniture that you see, the tabletop, is just in the process of being made. It'll be covered with a nice Formica top, but in the meantime we've used it for the 2 new Apple IIs that we have in this room. We purchased locally the 2 TV sets. The Apple IIs were purchased in England and brought down here. This is the 10-year-old classroom. Mr. Morgan Williams is the teacher in here. The kids are just coming in from, I believe, a PE class. Yes, they just came in from PE class. They're coming back now to have, I believe, a science class at this time. We'll take a little look at the classroom. You have the skylight windows above, and then right at the top they have an area, hexagonal-shaped skylight that lets in additional light, as well as the colored Yemeni windows that you can see around. This is the 10-year-old science class. Mr. Williams, Morgan Williams. Here's a shot of some of his bulletin board. Mr. Williams is quite an artist, and his classroom is always decorated nicely.
You have already filled in the table above. Perhaps if you have that opening in your record books, please. Page 17.
This is the 11-year-old class. Anthony Eichmann from England, our teacher here.
The jobs are the jobs that are more important. For instance, you've got the part here which is to do
And a
with
lesson here in
balance,
science.
coordination. Balance is much more important too, in which case that would be more developed. Think of an animal where balance and coordination, let's have the word coordination. What does it mean? People say you're uncoordinated. Yeah. Anybody else? Coordination? Coordination. Perhaps you're playing
These are 5 students on the University of Nebraska correspondence work doing for our 14 and 15-year-olds take one of their courses by correspondence. We also have in the school one 12th grader doing all of her work by correspondence. She's a girl from Egypt who hopes to go to the American University in Cairo after completing her secondary school through the University of Nebraska. This is the 7-year-old class having their science lesson, and Lineen Williams from Texas is the 7-year-old class homeroom teacher. These chalkboards that we have in the classroom were imported from Holland, and they have an interesting mechanism such that they can move up and down. We'll give you a demonstration of that right now.
Now, you can make yours look like this. Look at what I'm doing with this book that Heather let me use. You fold first this backwards, going to here, fold on the dotted line, and then put your X and hold it.
This is a WC that separates, or that is shared by 2 classrooms. We have the same on another part of the building as well. This is a class in Arabic for 5 and 6-year-olds. The teacher is Ini Vector from Holland. She's been in Yemen about 10 years, quite fluent in Arabic and the Yemeni dialect, and does an excellent job teaching Arabic to non-Arabic speaking children. That's Barb Kaufman from Montana. She's our 5-year-old class teacher, and she's sitting in here with her 5-year-olds that are here at this time. In the foreground here we have Margaret Borg from England, who is a paraprofessional. She works with the 5 and 6-year-olds to give that extra attention that's needed to do a good job. This is her, I think, 4th year with us as a paraprofessional. That's a position we define as a semi-volunteer position. We pay a little for it, but not a professional wage. Over here we have Mrs. Penny Busby from England. She's the 6-year-old class teacher. Ini has had her hands painted according to the Yemeni way. We'll try to come up close now and take a look at her hands up close. Okay, there's Ini's hand painted up. Ini, can you explain that a bit to us?
Yeah, the Yemeni ladies do this sometimes at weddings. And they sit with it for 6 hours, and they put a kind of mud on it, which is made out of a leaf, which is pounded. And they put it on the tips of the fingers. And then you have to hold your hand like that and sit still for about 3 till 6 hours. Or you sleep with it at night so that the dye really penetrates the skin. This has been on now for 1 week. And it will stay on another 2 weeks, then it will have worn off. The nails get nice and red. It doesn't disappear until it grows out. Like there, it's already white.
Thank you. That's very interesting. I'm sure that people in California like to see that. This is a rubinia tree that we have planted here in the courtyard. It gives a nice, pretty yellow flower. Just thought it'd be interesting to have a look at that pretty tree. This is the 9-year-old classroom. There's Pam Mackenzie from England, who's the 9-year-old class homeroom teacher. And it looks like they're having an art class in here. This is the 8-year-old class, and Marjorie van Hallam from Holland is the classroom teacher here. And it looks like we're having a class in health. I'm sorry, I mean cultural studies. So they're class in cultural studies. Again, show you the nice colored windows they have in these classrooms. Quite nice, spacious classrooms that are hexagonal shaped.
Every eye was fixed immovably upon that man. Without the slightest hesitation,
This is Mary Atwood's class of some of our older students that are in the process of learning English.
He went to the door on the right, and he opened
We have represented here,
Now the point of the story
I think,
is
just
this.
about as many nationalities
Did
as
the
there
tiger come
are
out of that door?
students. I see we have India, Lebanon, Yemen, Denmark, France, Holland, and
The
Pakistan.
more we reflect on
So we have
this
7
question,
children
the
and 7
harder it is to
nationalities.
answer. It involves the study of the human heart, which leads us through roundabout paths of passion, out of which it is difficult to find our way. Think of it.
That's David Wallen, the school's director of instruction, talking with Susan Giusti, one of our teachers and also one who's a media specialist. We're out in the courtyard of the school here.
I'd like to point out to you that Yemen is located, North Yemen is located in this area, South Yemen here. Basically, to get into Yemen, fly in from either Greece, Turkey, to Damascus, or you can fly in from Cairo and fly this way. This is the Red Sea, and this is the Mediterranean, and over here is the oil-rich area of the Arabian Peninsula and Iran and Iraq. But this small country of Yemen is located right here.
Okay, this is the physical education class of our students, I believe it's 11 years and up. They're playing here a game of field hockey. Our Arabic teacher for Arabs, Mr. Awad Abdurrahim, is teaching this particular class. I'll draw it up close so you can see him there. He is from Sudan. Across the way there we have Mr. Anthony Eichmann from England teaching the class, another class in track and field. This is Henry Gamber. He's in charge of our gardening program, and right now they're having some tree planting exercises. The Ministry of Education gave us quite a large number of trees, and we're having the children each plant one or two that they will be responsible for and will have their name on it. And they'll have the pride then to look after their own tree. Hopefully they can come back some years later and say, that's my tree, after they've grown up big.
I guess we don't go clear to the end. We won't need this after all. It comes out faster than that.
Okay, mine is pink.
I think it's enough.
Well,
You remember it was real dry down there.
just like this.
Real dry, so this will have a chance to go down a little bit.
We hope as we develop our school property to have this area to be we call it the forest area. As you can see right now, there's nothing in this particular part of it, but we'll be planting the trees and hoping to make a nice area. Another part, which we'll show in a bit, already has some trees that have been planted 2 or 3 years ago. Here's a view from the side showing the forest area that has been planted. You can see the school in the background over there. Go over to the garden area now and you'll see the kids working over there. Now here's some of the kids in Henry Gamber's gardening class. Now this is a 7-year-old class in their 1 hour a week they have in the gardening program. And they have small class gardens. They have about 2 or 3 two-way garden that they work together in. And they get to take the produce home when they finish it, and I know we get some very positive comments from parents when they bring home some good things to eat.
Ready? Here comes the water.
Mr. Gamber, Henry Gamber, works very hard in this garden project. It's Barb Kaufman there is helping him in this class today. There's Wout van Dijk, our plant manager. Wout has been in charge of the building programs, the ones that's finished and the ones that are currently underway, as well as he maintains all the vehicles, looks after all the office equipment, the offset machine, and is generally in charge of the entire management of the plant. He's extremely valuable to the school. He's by profession an electrician, and also he has professional training in mechanics. Wout is from Holland, and this is his 6th year with us in the school. This is our offset printing machine, a German machine imported from Holland, and Marcus Gilson is the operator. Marcus is in the 11th grade doing his work by correspondence, and this is done as a job on the side for him. But we can print in color and produce some very nice work on this. We can also make masters for this on the copying machine. There's a sample of what can be done in many colors.